How do you take something great and make it even better? How do you improve on perfection? It must be really hard to look at something so good and know that eventually you'll have to go one step further. How did Polaris do it? I don't know. But with the Sportsman XP 850 EPS, they did. The old Sportsman chassis was, without question, our favorite ATV platform ever. Sure, lots of you are gonna kick and scream and probably throw stuff at your TV because of that comment. And yeah, I know, there's lots of reasons to argue the Sportsman was less than perfect on paper, but a day on the trail would prove otherwise. Polaris had many years to hone and perfect the old McPherson strut Polaris until they got almost all the bugs worked out and were putting smiles on faces on a daily basis. But with all types of technology and motorized recreation, we as consumers tend to get bored easily. Even if what's available is excellent, we want different. So along comes the Sportsman XP chassis. Better, badder, and definitely not the same. It only takes a quick glance to see the changes. They are everywhere. In fact, Polaris claims the only parts of this bike that are the same as the old Sportsman are the shift knob and the left-hand switch cluster. And if you bought your XP early, they'd give you a different shift knob. Looks matter, no doubt about it, but what matters more is what's under the tough-looking exterior. Does it work? Is it really an improvement over our longtime favorite? This chassis really is a feat of engineering. For starters, the all-new 850 engine is mounted sideways. Now, there are a lot of reasons not to do this, like the fact that it's really hard to do, but once you swing a leg over the seat and feel how much thinner the chassis becomes with this engine layout, all your questions will go straight out the window. Up front, Polaris finally ditched their long-standing McPherson struts for a more common double A-arm setup. This had all of us here at Dirt Trax really nervous. After all, in our collective opinions, Polaris' Sportsmans were the best handling 4x4s ever made. Ergonomically speaking, the XP is worlds beyond any other ATV on the market. This thing literally feels like it was made for every rider who gets on it. Everyone loves it. But after riding the XP and the old Sportsman back to back, I feel the handling of this bike is just one tiny notch behind the older setup. Comfort, ride quality, build quality, these things are all improved over the older chassis. Where the McPherson strut front end can be driven as hard as you can imagine in any condition without any over or understeer, this front end does seem to generate just a bit of oversteer at higher speeds. Now, we've gone a long way through this test drive without mentioning one very important feature of this bike that all but erases the previously mentioned handling issue. Electric power steering, or EPS, is not new to the ATV industry, but this is Polaris' first go at it, and let me be very clear about this. They nailed it on the very first try. This is a progressive system, which means the faster you go, the less effect the power steering has over the wheels. This is an important point too, because as anyone who rides fast will tell you, feeling the terrain through the bars is more important the faster you go. If EPS worked equally at high and low speeds, the faster you went, the more out of control you'd feel. There are so many other interesting things to talk about with Polaris' all-new Sportsman XP 850 EPS. We could devote an entire show to the complexities of the chassis, the killer good looks, and the little tricks and features that are scattered here and there. Heck, I could even go on and on about just the 14-inch wheels, but there's simply not enough time, so I'll leave it at this. Check out a Sportsman XP with EPS online, or better yet, at your local dealer. Take a test ride if you can, and ask someone who knows about all the great features this ATV has to offer. Because I can say in all honesty, the Sportsman XP 850 with EPS is the best ATV Polaris has ever made.